You know the feeling, right? You're in a great conversation, everything's flowing, and then, bam, silence. Just dead air. And you can physically feel it. Your heart starts to pound, your palms get a little sweaty, and this desperate, clawing need to say anything just to fill that void starts bubbling up.
It's something we've all experienced. But what's really going on there? Why does the simple absence of sound feel like such a physical threat? Well, that is the big psychological puzzle we are going to unpack right now. Okay, first thing we have to get straight is this. Silence isn't just empty space. Psychologically, it's not an absence of something, it's the presence of something. It's active, it's heavy, and man, is it powerful. To really get why we squirm in our seats today, we have to rewind the clock. Way, way back. Because our fear of silence, well, it's not new. It's a primitive survival instinct, a kind of ancient alarm bell that's hardwired deep inside our brains. Think about it like this. For our ancient ancestors, noise meant life. The chatter of your tribe, the sounds of the camp, that was the sound of safety. It meant you belonged. Silence, on the other hand, a sudden hush in the jungle meant one thing: predator. It meant danger, it meant being alone, and it could very well mean death. Your brain is still running on that same ancient software. And this fear wasn't just about lions in the grass. It was about the people around you. See, in a tribe, being ignored, getting the silent treatment, was basically a death sentence. To be ostracized meant you were cast out, left to fend for yourself. So today, when someone is silent with you, your brain doesn't just register it as awkward. It triggers that deep, primal fear of social death. It's like a tiny simulated execution. All right, so the second reason we fear silence is a lot more personal. It strips away all the noise, all the external distractions we use to hide from ourselves. It basically forces you to look in the mirror, and for a lot of people, that is a deeply uncomfortable place to be. And this quote just nails it. When you intentionally stay silent in a conversation, you're not being passive. You become a psychological mirror, and this kicks off a really powerful phenomenon called projection, where the other person's inner world just comes pouring out. So here's how that works. You just stop talking. That uncomfortable void opens up. The other person, now totally desperate to fill it, just starts projecting their own stuff into that space. If they feel insecure, they'll assume you're judging them. If they're hiding something, they'll start getting paranoid that you know their secret. They just keep talking and talking, revealing way more than they ever meant to, all because they can't stand the silence. Okay, let's talk about power. Because in pretty much any social situation, whether it's a boardroom or just a night out with friends, there's a fascinating connection between silence and status. And here's the secret. More often than not, the less you feel you need to speak, the more power you actually have. You see it all the time. The person with lower status is anxious. They nervously fill every single pause, they laugh a little too hard, they're constantly looking for approval because deep down, they're trying to prove they belong there. But the high-status person? They're totally comfortable. They own the pause. Their silence radiates confidence and control because they have nothing to prove. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful negotiation tactic known as the pregnant pause. It's simple. You make a request, or they make you an offer, and instead of jumping in with a reply, you just wait. You let that silence hang in the air, full of expectation. And you know what? It doesn't even take that long. Let that silence stretch for just 7 seconds. It feels like an eternity. The pressure becomes almost unbearable for the other person. Their social anxiety goes into overdrive, and they feel this overwhelming urge to fix the problem of the silence. And what happens? They start negotiating against themselves. They sweeten the deal. They lower their price just to make the discomfort stop. The person who is less desperate always wins. So, we get the why now. But how do we actually use this? Let's get tactical. This isn't about being rude or ignoring people. It's about being strategic. It's about wielding silence as the powerful tool it is. So here's your toolkit. 3 little experiments you can try. First, next time someone asks you a tough question, just pause. Count to 3 in your head before you answer. It makes you look thoughtful, not reactive. Second, if someone tries to insult you, just look at them. Say nothing. Let their own ugly words hang there in the awkward air. And third, when you feel that hot flash of anger, bite your tongue. Use silence as a shield, because words spoken in anger are almost always words you'll regret. This bit of Stoic wisdom really gets to the heart of it. Speech is permanent. Once a word is out there, it's out there forever. You can't take it back. But silence? Silence preserves your options.
It keeps the power in your hands. It gives you control over what happens next, a power that just blurting things out instantly takes away.
So, in the end, it really all comes down to how you see it. Is silence an empty, scary void, or is it a fortress of strength? Honestly, it's only scary if you're not comfortable with yourself. Once you learn how to use it, it stops being a void and transforms into a source of power and control. In a world that just will not stop shouting, maybe the most powerful thing you can do is just be quiet.